cool,
up until
but
the
saving
point
the
when
world
Sonic
fame's
was
cool,
kept in the
but
passenger
saving the
seat
world,
of
way
Tom's
cool.
truck, and the film became
This is
too
the
realistic
life,
in a
buddy.
way. To confine Sonic in a car ride seems to
Who designed
also
this
connected
level?
to the spirit of the character. A mid-credit scene did hope that
Everyone
the
see me as
inevitable
a
sequel
hero.
will give us more time with Sonic and as lengthy of
Maybe
existential
my
as opposed
story's
to
not
make
over
him
yet.
coexist along forgettable
If anything
boards.
comes, we face it together.
Sonic the Hedgehog. Hollywood has a less than stellar history when it comes to video game movies, but there have been recent signs that filmmakers are getting closer to figuring out how to make them work.
Where the hell are we
The
going?
Dan Jensen vehicle gameplays make some fun. Storm Raider did with an unexpected sequel, and popular detective Pikachu killed us with cuteness. Now comes Sonic the Hedgehog,
What
whose
is
journey
this
from video game
place?
to live action movie has been far from smooth. The negative response to the first
I
trailer,
am
especially
what you fear
Sonic
most.
disturbing, aggressively realistic look due to the film's releasing being delayed
Welcome,
and promise of the
Sonic.
redesign. But while the new look is a big improvement, the finished
To
product
the
is
end of your
by
story.
and large predictable. It's all the more frustrating given and its hero
A
and
power
villain are
you never
not perfect.
faced.
John Jones has the right amount of childhood energy to Sonic to make his fast-talking tendencies endearing instead of irritating, and Gary is almost worth the price of admission by himself as the mustache-twirling robotic from consistently quirky line deliveries to a wide yet entertaining dance sequence. This is easily the funniest the veteran comedies has been on screen in a long while. It's when Carrie is not on screen that Sonic the Hedgehog underwhelms. The planned center romance between Sonic and Mercer's overly trusting sheriff is missing a few key beats,
I can't believe
and the speed at which their relationship develops means that the more emotional moments in the movie latter half don't hit as they perhaps should.
we need your help saving.
Another character who would benefited from a slower pace should be Tom's wife Maddie, who is given far too little to do. As for when things actually need to be speedy, Dr. Jeff Fowler does a good job of letting Sonic's confident personality shine through in the action sequence.
He was obsessed
Still, it's not
trying to
enough
recreate
to
you.
detract from the fact that much of it feels derivative of Quirkle's big moment in X-Men Days
Created an
of
entire army.
Future
He's
Past.
completely destroyed our world.
Sonic
People are
the
scared.
Hedgehog film
But we
review.
still believed.
For all
We
the
believed
cat food
you
the
would save
attract is
us.
the spring of 2019
So,
over the visual design
will
of
you help us?
Sonic the Hedgehog. The blue for speed demon mascot of the Sega video game turned live action 3D adventure into wish that the creator of Sonic the Hedgehog who went back and redesigned the character after being pressured. I am also polite by his fans have been inspired to redo the character's voice. Sonic, who was attacked for looking too anthropomorphic for comfort, there was a great deal of attention paid to his unnecessarily human peak, is now closer to the big-eyed red snake trap with the Sly Snake, who was launched by Sega in 1991 and wound up becoming a kind of Mario or Pac-Man for essential in the movie. He now approximates the Cadley Astro boy look of Sonic from the game franchise, but he
With
talks
me.
like the ultimate, greetingly overfamiliar cartoon, smart like a little snide, a little nerdy, with a mild kind of attitude,
How we doing,
essentially his
Slurpheads?
voice
It's been a minute since we last
by
dropped a
being
Sonic the Hedgehog 4 on
secretors
the
of
channel,
parts
so
and
yeah, we
recreation.
had to fix that today.
To sound
It's
like
honestly
your
wild
pal
that in
as
just
if the
over a
movie had
month, we're going to be able to say Sonic Movie 4
concocted
is
some
less
sort
than a
of
year
vocal
away.
smoothie out of
That's
Carefree and
crazy.
Fritz
Where
the
is the
Cat
time
and Owen
gone?
Wilson
That's
and
gonna fly
Patton
by. We've
Oswalt.
explored
Whatever
the current
Sonic now
4
looks like,
concepts
his
before
soul
here on the
is
channel. But
unconscious.
this concept that you just watched
Given the
might be
level of
closest
obsession
yet
with
to
which
what we actually
Sonic fans
see
regard
in
him,
movie 4,
the maker
especially
of
when you
Sonic the
line it up with
Hedgehog
the
would
current
have done
rumours,
well
leaks,
to
and scoops that
turn
are
the
floating
film
around the
into a
internet.
slapstick
That
theme
said, there's
part
always
of
room for
video
more
game
Sonic 4 trailer
trickery
concepts,
like
so if
the
you've got an idea for where this franchise goes
relentlessly
next, drop it in the
imaginative
comments.
death break the
Hey, we might
internet,
even turn it
but
into a
no.
full-on
Their story epic that
Make sure you
decision,
subscribe to
or worse
Swerve and
than the
keep it locked
original
here because
pussy humanoid
2026 is going to
design
be
of
stacked
Sonic
for
was to
movies,
make
and we're
the
covering
Sonic
all of
movie to
it.
one of
Thank you
those
very much for
clunky
watching.
live action
Oh yeah, and why don't
adventure
you check out this
comedies with
new
a
clip
digitally
from
animated
Jurassic World
genre
Ice Age that
plot
we
into
just dropped
the
here on the
middle of
channel.
it.
But that ain't the only thing we've
The
got.
trouble with this form is
Come
that the
on.
live action
Let me
setting
show you.
inevitably results in a colorfying, cheerful cap sitcom woodness. In this case, the tale of how Sonic
Welcome to
buddies
a new
up
age.
with Tom, a sheriff in the small town of Green Hills, Montana. The two family land in San Francisco so that the film can have an action climax. Set atop one of the towering platforms of the Transmerica Pyramid, whenever they are in port, couple trophies snarky enough to make your lips drop.
You've made the
So
same
how speedy is
choice I
Sonic?
did.
He is so fast that
see.
George at 287 miles per hour plays a baseball game with himself. He can effectively slow any situation to a standstill, crawling around inside it to make whatever adjustments are necessary. This ability comes in handy and entertainingly when he is stuck in a random bar. He is like the road runner without the silently induced mistakes. Often the dishes around to the tone of coins. Don't stop me now, I will now make a supersonic man out of you, which gives you a proof of the film product type in area of cleverness. Sonic has his old video game range that allow him to teleport and his mind zips around too, which means that he adds a scheme of rapid fire naughtiness to lines like the face I was born with, the confidence I picked up along the way. Sonic the Hedgehog does the backup sort of when Jim Carrey is on screen as the movie Dr. Robotnik, whose origin story is basically years after the electric light from one of Sonic's mad dashes shot out the entire Pacific Northwest.
Up there.
The US military is convinced that there must be some sort of
Left yourself
alien
open.
invasion afoot, so they send into Montek, a freelance mission wizard, to investigate. Carrie wearing a big wax mustache out of an old western, a long black coat with a lining of satanic red and a haircut that can only be described as a Hitler fade does a vintage Carrie turn. Which is to say he could have given the exact same performance in 1998 and maybe
I haven't seen that
did,
since I
but
hate
there's
watched
a
the Green
giddy
Lantern in
nostalgia to seeing
2011.
him
I was saving
execute
it
this
for
routine
Comic-Con, but
with
now
such
there won't
timeless
be a
human
Comic-Con.
Spider-Man dance. Robotnik is a crack tyrant genius who control an army of sensor drones. They are like a weaponized droid in Robocop, except that they look like flying humidifier, and his driving force is life appears to be to demonstrate at every opportunity.
Why are you
His
alone?
innate superiority,
Where are your
we
friends?
all know that sure. Average Hollywood
tried to
comedy
stop
tends
it,
to
didn't
include some
But you
on-set
came anyway.
improvisation.
Your anger was
But in
too
this
much.
case, the contrast
What
between
kind
the
of hero
leading
abandons
Crusader
his
branches
friends to
of the
pursue
rest of the movie
revenge?
and the ping
Abandons
of Carrie's
his
dialogue is so
family.
marked
Don't
that
you
it
dare
almost
talk
feels
about my
like he
family.
made up his
And
entire
here I
character on the
thought you
spot.
cared for them.
I'm not declaring
Especially
that
one.
he actually
What's
did.
his name?
I am just saying.
Tom.
When he thankful each goes to the law for a legality of invasion exploratory processors, it reminds you that the carry perspective was always built around cheeky new ways to bring the pain. A review like this one should probably come with a disclaimer for all the background at Sonic the Hedgehog. I do realize this is a picture made for 8 years old and you will probably
What are you
like it
waiting
just
for?
fine.
Do it.
Yet I would also call
I'm
the
right
overly
here.
85 tone of the movie is mistake.
your pain
The
change who you
protesters who relied for the changes in Sonic design by treating it as a line in the sand issue, thereby demonstrating at least one reason why Donald Trump will probably be re-elected, who now have a generation that think this is a cause.
Come on.
We're not
Take your
8 years old
revenge.
as a movie hero. Sonic could and should have been hyper and sharper. Less megaplex arrested even as they fixed his face. The filmmakers tried so hard to make him likable that they never figure out a way to make him cool. Sonic the Hedgehog cute and heartfelt is unconventional family fun. Paramount's Sonic the Hedgehog, a live-action animated epic based on the classic Sega video game property, is an indicator after major setbacks saw the film delayed 3 months, so the titular blue speed set could be redesigned. When the first Sonic the Hedgehog movie trailer hit the internet last spring, the criticism was quick and the memes were ruthless as someone wondered why the Hedgehog pitch was so different to the games. Instead of forward director Jeff Kufler announced a release date delay and major redesign of Sonic would take place, which ended up being the right choice as Sonic the Hedgehog now feature a much more classic design. The public has all but forgotten the original light and pleasing look of the character and is focused more on the movie itself. Sonic the Hedgehog offers a kid-friendly adventure movie based on a classic Sega property that tells a solidly enjoyable unforgettable story. Written by Kevin Wilson and Josh Miller, with the dog Spirit and Sonic, the Hedgehog spirit and Sonic life are going Chicago and the superhero of time, living in an alien farm. Another dog with a special ability that's sought after by those who would use it for evil. As a child, Sonic is given magical rings that allow him to travel between worlds and told to stay hidden and keep running, which he does until he makes a home on Earth. When Sonic accidentally causes a power outage and brings unwanted attention on himself and the town of Green Hills, Montana, the young Hedgehog comes out of hiding and asks local sheriff Tom for help and tries to bring him
Come on, let's have our moment. She said, go get away. You know I'm on it. You know I'm on it. What was it? We rolling. Lean pouring. I want this up, but she playing. Having a fire racks in my pants. She wanna know what I'm not a man. Tell her don't free my slime out the can. Tell her don't free my slime out the can. My stick fully can run from the bed. Rocket glamour. Rock out, got no manners. This hoe don't got no manners. I'm a dude in the RIP. I'm still get up personally. I had the IG bitch on her knees. Got that whole day of the week. Now they hoes from the scene. I come green all of it, please. On my slime, let's see what I see. On my
with the
woe,
mentality of a teenager, and the other is a tired dad type tasked with protecting the red
knew
official
it!
Speed
I
Sitter.
knew you'd
It
return.
is a winning
You had
dynamic playing
to.
on Mustang natural charm and
You
Tom
again.
Papinski
This
to be
time,
the
there will be no more
lovingly
interruptions.
annoying sidekick.
The
However,
ableist
there are
trigger
times when the pair
must
don't necessarily
die.
and the jokes just
Sonic.
don't work, but it's like example the script which could have used a little punching up, especially on some of the other
So how
minor.
was your little
In
walk?
fact, and
Great
unfortunately,
test.
Sonic and Tom are not the movie linchpin,
Police!
as that would be Sonic the Hedgehog
It's
Daddy.
time to end this.
That said, the
Huh?
villain of Sonic
Who?
the Hedgehog would have been entirely
Metropolis. Why are you
uninspired if
getting in my
not
way?
for the casting of Gary.
I'm Shadow.
For this part,
Shadow the
Gary is
Hedgehog.
back in the classic form, putting a widely silly, theatrical, and entertaining spin on Eggman that channels the same energy of his most popular 90s and early
How about
double
this?
series hosts like Ace Ventura, Batman Forever's the Riddle, and The Grinch is How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Whatever because of Gary's art, the script itself, Sonic the Hedgehog feels a little out of time as it was made in the 90s but still makes modern pop culture reference. Transcends culture
Take
is so
this!
fast now, even its most recent pop culture reference already feels out of date, like a Sonic crossing after a win it managed to guard partially because Gary is able to smooth out some of the movie's rougher
It's
edges
no
and
use.
when he's not on screen,
Take this!
Marston and Skarsgård performers are able to keep the film flawed mostly. Ultimately, Sonic the Hedgehog is very much a kid movie for better or for worse. It's cute and engaging enough to keep your
This
younger
will end
audience
it.
entertained, and
Yeah!
while older viewers may not be as entirely invested, parents who themselves grow up with Sonic would no doubt be pleased to share the experience of his first live-action movie with their own
Witness the
kids.
might of my power.
Certainly, there's enough nostalgia, charm, humor, and connection to the games
Chaos
to entertain Sonic
Sphere.
fans of all ages. However, the movie's formulaic and rather simplistic approach to the world of Sonic and the story of Sonic the Hedgehog through this tale may be a bit frustrating or boring for those accepting more from the property. Still, at the end of the day, Sonic the Hedgehog does accomplish what it sets out to do: tell a fun, entertaining, and heartfelt story about a young outcast hedgehog who found his place in the
Chaos
world.
control.
As such, Sonic the Hedgehog is great family fun, especially for those who kids and our parents who grow up playing the Sega games. The
You
Sonic
don't
redesign
bother
certainly
with the
helps to
Chaos
feed
Emerald's
into the
power.
nostalgia
I
of the
control
film,
time and
giving
space.
the movie and
You
character
can't
a
break
visual
free.
style that's
I
easily
won't
recognizable to
give up.
fans.
It all
While
depends
they
on
may
me.
further make Sonic
Can't
the
lose.
Hedgehog feels
Not
like
when
it's
I'm
playing
so
it to save,
close.
there's something to be said about occasionally giving fans exactly what they want. In this case, it makes
Chaos
Sonic the
control.
Hedgehog more of a crowd pleaser for those who are not necessarily fans of Sonic or
You
Carrie's classic performance.
Induced chaos control.
Sonic the Hedgehog
I
doesn't
won't
have
let
much
anyone get in
else
my
to
way.
offer and
I'll
can easily
change the
be
past and
missed in
save the
theaters.
world.
But considering the winter drought, who's
Methodist
looking
isn't
for
trying to
something
help
fun
you
to check
create a
out will
better
not go
future.
wrong with Sonic the
He's trying
Hedgehog.
to eliminate the past.
Altogether, Sonic the Hedgehog
What?
is a fairly
What are you
mild
talking
and
about?
family-friendly
To
adventure
discover what
movie,
happened.
but a
It
comparably
seems we must see
good
what took
video game
place 10 years
adaptation.
ago.
The believes a great deal of potential for
Follow
a
me if you want
stronger,
the truth.
even more ambitious sequel. Hopefully, Sonic the Hedgehog will get the chance to explore its world and take more risks in a follow-up. Sonic the Hedgehog movie review. The movie
I'm sorry, Solo,
Sonic,
but that roundhouse kick just never gets old.
Sonic the
Hey, how you doing,
Hedgehog
guys? Thank you all for checking out
movie
scene remake
ending
number
explained.
7. As always,
Sonic
if
the
you enjoyed,
Hedgehog
make sure you give this
that
video
is
a like,
released in
subscribe if you haven't already, and share it around with
2020,
others who might also
the
enjoy
ending
it.
explained and what
feel
it
free
could
to leave a
mean
comment
for
below for any
Sonic
other
the
scene remake
Hedgehog 2.
suggestions. I do read them. Once
The
again,
movie,
thank you all for watching, and I'll see
as
you in
it's
the
the
next
first
one.
film, it what could be a string of epic adaptation of the Sonic the Hedgehog storyline seen in Sega's classic video game. The ending to the movie seems to flash some big arrows towards with some potential Sonic the Hedgehog 2 could be about. Part of those flashing arrow in the two mid-credit strings that accompany the resolution of the story proper in Sonic the Hedgehog, and the implication of both of those moments send the realm of possibility into an even greater scope of action. Sonic the Hedgehog movie and the implication of both of those moments and the realm of possibility. Not to mention there's a new character introduced, they will have audience cheering is surprise delight. There's a lot to talk about and we are going to get into all of it shortly, so if you want to avoid, this is your last chance to leave before you take off in a blue blur of spoiler. So what happened at the end of Sonic the Hedgehog? At the end of Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic and Dr. Robotnik have a fast and furious chase around the world from San Francisco to China and eventually back to Green Hills, Montana. The bad Doctor follows our furry friend throughout his ranked portals of transport with a flying machine that's powered by one of Sonic's electrified coils. Winding up back in the small town that he has secretly been living in for about a decade period with the events of Sonic the Hedgehog, the existence of Sonic is confirmed to the townspeople, especially Hedgehog, theorist Crazy Car, ready to take out his small nemesis Dr. Robotnik, asks the town to stand aside and let things play out as they may. But Sonic's new friend Sheriff Tom stands in the way of the pissed-off Hedgehog, and this would-be assassin then asked why he would show such a thing. Tom said it's because he and Sonic are friends. Awoken from his wounded state and supercharged for a fight, Sonic rises up and tosses one of his rings behind Dr. Robotnik's aircraft. As true Sonic the Hedgehog fashion, our hero curves up into his trademark spin-off ball formation and collider with Dr. Robotnik's malicious flying machine. The force of Sonic impact not only smashes the vehicle apart, it knocks the evil villain into the dimension that Sonic was originally going to escape to, a planet full of mushroom, presumes to be the Mushroom Hill Zone from Sonic and Chuckle. Sonic the Hedgehog existing is an open secret. With the final battle in Sonic the Hedgehog now concluded, the sleepy town of Green Hills, Montana, now officially known, the Sonic does indeed exist. So in a potential Sonic the Hedgehog 2, we just might see our Sega mascot friend barking more openly in the streets of the town he saved. Of course, this is not a totally clean gateway, so we see as the very end of Sonic the Hedgehog that the United States government is still looking for Sonic, with the hopes of trying to lure him in for a very casual, brunchy type meeting. An official bribe is made to Tom and Maddie Tika Samskar via a $150 gift card to the Olympia Garden. Graciously expecting this gift card as payment for a job well done, we learn that while the Bishops state that they don't know where Sonic is, he is actually closer than some would think. Living in a replica of his hidden cave from the beginning of the film, Sonic the Hedgehog is a resident in the Bukowski attic, along with some added touches of home. Sounds like a happy, completely closed ending, right? Well, there's a too pretty big reveal in the mid-credit sequence that would say otherwise. Robotnik is currently in exile or another world, while we see Dr. Robotnik sailing into another dimension in Sonic the Hedgehog. That obviously not the end of the story. It will take more than a Mars cuts landing and burst ships to stop a 300 equal genius from getting home, and he is pretty determined to make it back before Christmas.